Go ahead and start the public meeting tonight for September 23rd. I need to call to order here. I need a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
First.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Minutes approved. Really no new old business. We have a new business pertaining to the zoning amendment for 154 RZ 21. I will at this point turn it over to, you want me to turn it over to you or
That's okay. Let me first I want to introduce this Joe Smiley. He's our development director here at the township, and he and one of our trustees has been working with the country club on and off, and he has all the details, so I'll let Joe take it from here.
Go ahead,
I'm
Joe.
not going to take any of the thunder from the developers, so I've got a slideshow, et cetera, but I believe they're talking about 22 homes and utilizing a good portion of underutilized property that's part of the golf course currently, but is not in any of the real area of the golf, et cetera. I'll let them get into the price of housing, et cetera. This is an overlay district. This is the only property inside Brookside being considered at this time, but there's nothing else. So this doesn't affect anything other than that acreage that is shown on that drawing. So that's pretty much it. And I'm going to turn it over to the developer at this point and let them make a presentation. Max, please.
Stacy,
Yeah.
Whatever you
I'll
want.
come over here.
anywhere you want.
Good evening. Thanks for your time tonight. I'm Max Reed, the general manager of Brookside. I have Andy Gephardt, the club president, Mitch LaPlante, who's the architect for the cottages, and then Brandon Belli is representing Bob Webb, who is the proposed builder for the cottages. So thanks for being here. And this is about the crowd I'm comfortable with. When I was first named the GM at Brookside, this is about how many people showed up. So I appreciate you keeping it at this level. Several years ago, the club was exploring ways to raise money to invest in future capital improvements. And we had some excess acreage that isn't used for the golf course and is seldom used. So it was decided after some vetting that this was a good idea. The members liked the idea. It would be twofold to provide funding for future capital improvements. Plus, if we build it right, we would have the ability to secure membership for the future, having members be the occupants of the homes and the owners. So once that was decided by the club, we approached the township just to get some feedback, and the feedback was positive. So that led us to where we are here today to try to formally get this done and keep it moving. Having said that, we've got just a couple of slides on why this is not only good for Brookside, but why we think it's good for Perry Township. Brookside's an important asset in Perry Township. We have a mutual interest in the success of Perry Township. They'll be amongst the best planned and most beautiful homes in Perry Township. The developer and the builder selected for this project are amongst the two best in their fields and will execute a high quality project. Will increase the tax base for Perry Township. Will provide a high level of housing stock for the township. Immediate neighbors see some benefit from the development of the increased home valuations. The purchasers of the homes will all be members of Brookside, and they're made up mostly of working and retired professionals, and they should make great neighbors. Throughout the country, golfing communities have been developed over the years, and this will be in keeping with that trend. And this development, we believe, will enhance Perry Township's reputation with developers and will be a crown jewel for the township. Having said all that, we just feel it's a good project. It certainly helps the club. This came about in times when things weren't as good as they were for private clubs 3 or 4 years ago, but there still is always going to be a need for capital funds at a country club. So having said that, we've got the developer for questions, Brandon for the builder for questions if there are any, and if you'd like, the architect can speak and talk a little bit about the homes, but I'll leave that up to this group here.
Can you explain, just kind of give a, I don't know if you don't have it up here. I kind of see here on the overlay, kind of where the entrance and going in and out, and I know that's the big, one of the questions of the entrance is going in and out of the, for the new homes. I just want to get an idea. It's kind of hard to tell from the map and everything that we've currently got.
We do have a slide, I think if you go down a couple, we can get that poster board up, but the entrance is on Greenvale.
Is this what you want?
This is, these are, like, here's an existing home, the last one down there, and here's the other last one. And right now, this is just a turnaround. And then this area that you see here is just all heavily wooded area. So the entrance would be coming from the west, heading east down Greenvale.
Where's 161?
161 is right here.
Okay, so entrance in off 161 is then two spots?
Yes, you have Brook down here, and then not on this map is another entrance here.
Yeah, the
It
one
actually goes in and dead ends right here behind our
Yeah.
golf course.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Danbury is the name of that street.
Yeah, the name, okay. I was trying to get an idea when looking, because then it was back there, just was there. So this then butts up your property. And then where's your entrance to the country club?
Our entrance is over here. So this is all a pond.
Yeah, that's the pond in the
That's the
front.
pond in front that you can sometimes see depending on how much you're paying attention on that system.
Yeah. Okay.
What is the immediate land that is adjacent? What, is that fully wooded?
Here,
No, at your cul-de-sac.
here.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is all, I'm going to estimate, and Mitch or Brandon can correct me, but I think it's heavily wooded, basically, all of this area back.
okay.
I mean, there's one little access trail that we've used over the years for members to go down there and fish or hike, and if the
Okay.
maintenance crew ever wants to get back in there, but other than that, it's,
It's very wooded back there.
yeah.
And then how many homes are we looking at exactly?
23,
22.
22.
22, so it's just additional 22 families is what we're looking at. Because there's no multi.
Correct.
What's the average square foot of those homes?
They'll range from 2,500 to something close to 5,000 square foot.
Okay.
And the lots size will be about an acre.
No, they're smaller than that.
Oh, they're smaller than that?
Yeah.
That's big on here.
It varies significantly based upon the configuration of the lot, et cetera, but we working with the town, we created the setbacks and we're comfortable with the setbacks and the criteria we have to fit the homes on the site comfortably.
And then what are we doing with the neighbors and then that are butted up against there? You've had discussions with all those, I do believe, from my understanding.
Yes,
Correct.
we had a presentation that we invited a local church like about a year or so ago that everyone was told what we're doing. The cottages will all be one color, matching the architecture of the clubhouse, the English Tudor style. So the idea is to build off of that, a village setting in one color roof and.
That's what the overlay's for. It has the distinct, it tells exactly how you can,
That's correct. It's a very prescribed formula of what's going to be allowed.
almost like a homeowners association.
Yes, but very defined.
Did you want them to go over, they brought
Yeah,
some
that would be-
Okay, go
visuals?
ahead.
Did you want them to do that? Okay.
Sure.
Again, working off the architecture of the clubhouse, the English Tudor style. And one of the things that I'm not from, I live in Charleston, South Carolina, but I love the limestone that you have everywhere in this area. So limestone will be a major accent feature on all the cottages. The roof color will very closely mimic the roof color of the existing clubhouse, the stucco, everything works off of that, but
Hey, Mitch, why don't you work off the monitor so everybody can see?
There we go.
uh,
That's what I was trying to, I was getting back to that back up.
well, that's okay.
Yeah.
I hate public speakers of yours. This is my limits.
It's all right.
I'm a self-professed tree hugger. I love trees, and I'm an architect that designs around trees, and that's what attracted me to the site. There were a lot of wonderful trees. We've located every single tree on the property, and we're designing around the major trees and working. We spent a long time researching our best partner. We think Bob Webb is the best partner to achieve the results that we want also. So the idea of the cottages will nestle. And this is an example of how two cottages that are on the golf course side might look and relate to each other. And they're all being custom designed. Every cottage is different. All the client needs are different, so they're all being designed unique to themselves. And working on the architecture. One of the interesting features we've done in the neighborhood is that between lots 2 and 3, we've got a cart path, so all these residents will be able to go to the golf course without ever going on the street for traffic. So, and virtually every cottage is being designed with room for golf carts parking in the garage. So the typical use of the streets is going to be much less than normal because all of these have to be members of the club. All the residents are required, if they're not already members, will become members of the club, and therefore will use that access. We determined a long time ago this is going to be a great neighborhood. We just want to make sure we're proud of it. Brandon feels that way. Bob and Becky Webb feel the same way. We want to be very proud of what we've done, and we think it's a great design solution for a wonderful site. It's a very unique site, sloping towards the water, and we spent a long time, working closely with the town to make sure that what the town wants and what we can design with is the same thing, and we're very comfortable with the standards that we've set, that we can achieve something that not only we're proud of, but the whole community is proud of when it's completed. People are happy to live in the neighborhood.
Let me ask a question, because I don't know this. Back there in that area with the woods, and we're using the trees that are there, and the issue with going in and taking trees, I'm kind of thinking down the road, when these homes are built, will there be any water problems? Because I know I live in Brookside, and it's a marshland, because it's low level in certain areas. Is this a high level area,
No,
or is it lower? I mean, I want to make sure that when you build them, that there's not.
This entire area is lower than the street that we're coming from. There's no portion that's higher than that street, and it all flows down to the water. If you look at you can see contour lines here.
Yeah. This
whole site slopes down to the water dramatically, some 30, 40, 50 feet. So there's no way we're flowing back towards the community at all.
Well, I'm thinking like if they're at one end, that their water is going to flow from that one end where the cul-de-sac is down to the other end. Those homes at the other end, when you build it and it starts to come up, when you look at it, when it's a property level, you may have a swale where it could end up falling. You want to make sure that the drainage in those areas is going to be adequate in those areas when you're building the streets and everything else.
Let me address it. This is just the zoning. All of this will have to go through the Franklin County Engineering Department. And they have an incredible criteria, what they have to do, and all the standards and all the current standards, et cetera, will all have to be met and approved by the Franklin County Engineer's Office.
And this will be City of Columbus water also. They'll connect into what we
They'll
currently have.
connect into City of Columbus water for the detachment agreement that we've arranged.
Okay.
So, yeah.
It's hard to imagine any external water problems, given the drainage, which is from the cul-de-sac down to the lake. Obviously, somebody's going to have to take care of the low end to make sure that doesn't flood.
We're aware of that. That's part of the engineering process
Okay.
that we'll deal with.
I was just curious on that. I was thinking about it as we're going through this process. Do we have any neighbors who wanted to speak tonight?
Do any of you, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go- Go right ahead.
I wondered if any of you back to this community, new community,
If any of us back it, is that?
back
We
to,
don't,
Oh,
we
back
don't,
up to
but the Clicks, who couldn't be here tonight because he's out of town. They have the last home on this, on
That's
this
in the
street.
Okay.
And they've been enthusiastic supporters of this. all
I
along.
saw
they're the
their
ones that sent the
letter.
letter?
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
they are.
yeah.
They're the ones that
Okay.
sent the
Yeah, they
letter
sent a very
out.
good, nice letter.
Look, most of these folks are folks looking to come into this neighborhood.
Oh,
That's
okay.
why
Oh, okay.
They're not here on
Oh,
concern.
okay.
They're here to make sure we can move forward.
I'm ready to dig.
That's great.
If we go on to add something, we've been involved in this for over 4 years, almost 4.5 years. And we selected Mitch because of what he did down in Kiowa, which is a very exclusive golf community in the Carolinas. And when we saw the work that he did and the way that he was able to preserve the trees and also blend it in so that it was not offensive from the golf course, it's a beautiful golf course. And that's why we selected him.
Okay,
So we think that he's the best at this kind of development, and Bob Webb is the best
Right.
at building homes. So we really feel like we have an all-star team.
great.
Okay, my name is Lee Martin. I'm on the commission, but I was told I had to recuse myself because I just live a few houses down on Greenvale. And you're gonna hear at some point from some of the neighbors, they're concerned, not necessarily about the construction traffic that Mr. Click referenced, but the permanent traffic, since Greenvale is gonna basically be the only way in and out. So they're concerned that Greenvale was designed for low flow, obviously, so there aren't sidewalks or curbs or anything like that. So those will be some of the questions that come up when some of the other neighbors participate in the process. We're in favor of the project under the right circumstances, of course.
I'm fine with that. I mean, like I said when we first did this, as long as it doesn't go over into the other part of Brookside where I live, and I don't have to hear the my neighbors, I'm good.
The wall would have to go upside down because you're higher than we are.
Except my yard, which is the current pond.
And I will say from the township standpoint, we've been involved in this I've been involved with it well over a year now. And, we knew of the sensitivity of all of Brookside, not just this side or the other side or anything like that. And we weren't in any interest in entertaining any large scale projects or anything like that. We felt that 22 homes of this caliber for retirees, primarily retirees or semi-retirees, members of the club, et cetera. Looking at the infrastructure, they're going to have to go through, again, Franklin County Engineer's Office, and they're going to put them through the ringer and make sure that everything's accounted for and adjusted and done. But overall, for the relative scale of this project, we thought it was very appropriate for this area. So,
At some point, it'll come before my commissioners where I work. So
there you go.
I know that. All right, well, thank you very much. And Jen, did you have anything tonight? I know the overlay in the county, where else has this gone on? Because I know you deal with other townships. What other townships have used this overlay
Yeah,
process?
Sure. So I can't think of any in Franklin County, or at least not recently, but certainly the townships right north in Delaware
Mhm.
County. I think Orange has an overlay that's probably been in the news recently. Liberty has a couple, Berkshire has a couple, Jerome is working on one right now, Marysville, basically. And you're exactly right. This is why you do an overlay like this, because you get more control, frankly, in saying, these requirements and how the process gets followed. And this is a very small one. In fact, some of the ones I'm mentioning, only just for perspective, the Jerome one that again is going right now is 741 acres, right? So again, a tool that works at a small level like this, right? 5 acres and change, up to and including, I don't know if I've seen it more than 700, but you certainly could do it for more. It's a planning tool. It gives the township an ability to kind of like everyone has said tonight, kind of see forward, plan for the future and get those comfort level requirements. I know you have some substantial architectural requirements, design standards, floor area minimums, that's how you do this. It's kind of a neat tool and being used more and more, like I said, around.
Well, since there's one architect going through the whole thing, it makes it a lot easier. You don't have multiple
That's
architects
right.
trying to do separate homes.
I'd also like to throw out that another part of this process that's going on is we're altering the zoning code for the exceptional use district. All of the golf course property is in what's called an exceptional use district. And if you want to be entertained, go to that exceptional use language as it currently exists and understand all the things that they can do here. I think they could go and put a carnival in here. They could put a gymnasium in here. They could put a church in here. and here's the-
Allegedly.
Gambling, really?
So what we've done in conjunction with all of this is also throttle all of that back, and that'll be introduced to you all, I think, on the 30th.
On
Yeah, I
the
get another
30th.
meeting
On
next
the
week.
30th,
Yes.
which will be processed at the same time, but we've pretty much taken the country clubs, both this and Worthington Hills, down to country club uses only. So no airfields, no carnivals, no pig farms, no anything else. So we're
helicopter?
recapturing a lot of control.
That's good. I like that. And then the enforcement of, now, once these are all built, this is the great thing, when these are all built and then, somebody comes in, then somebody leaves. If somebody wants to make changes, that has to go through the zoning, or who's handling.
That's the beauty of the overlay. The only changes they can make are in conjunction with the overlay. So as long as they stick to all the guidelines that are in the overlay, which will dictate their original development, they want to make a change, as long as they adhere to all those requirements, they can make an alteration. Anything substantial outside of that, they would have to come back to this board and do an amendment to the zoning.
But an additional level is the HOA will be much more restricted than you will be to allow any changes to the property.
That's what I'm saying, there will be an HOA to
Yes.
this.
Yes,
Okay, that's what I want to make sure, double check also.
highly controlled HOA, yes.
Okay, so the HOA will be the one that's really driving, says yes or no, that you can,
Well,
This
the
or
answer
that.
is no most of the time. but yeah.
And we'll be watching.
okay. Yeah, I hope so, hope we're watching. So, all right, well then, I would like to entertain a motion to recommend approval of the text and map amendments proposed to the Perry Township zoning resolution and zoning amendment number 154-RZ-21.
Offers.
Motion by Lucy, second. Second by Jamie. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion approved.
Terrific.
Anything else?
Yeah, just a couple things. First off, I wanted to welcome Jamie Dennis and Lee Martin to the board, the zoning commission board. We really appreciate y'all volunteering your time to do this. So, and for those who don't know, Lucy Plahy has been on the zoning commission for longer than I've been here. And Gary Collins has been the same. So we really appreciate all your time and your willingness to volunteer for this. As Joe mentioned, the next zoning commission meeting for the next piece of this, the exceptional use is September 30th at 6:30 p.m. right back here. I'm streaming these, so if anyone, because of our limited space, if people want to be able to at least view it, we want to be able to them to have that kind of an option. So do y'all know off the top, are you gonna be all three of you? Perfect. Thank you so much.
I don't think Lee'll be able to partake in that.
Yeah, Lee can come back. It won't be part of his property.
I can be a citizen, that's what I was
Exactly.
told.
Well,
For the EU?
For the EU, I believe. you
Yeah,
can
for
be-
the next one, you're fine.
You're
Oh,
fine
okay.
on the next
Yeah.
one on
Yeah.
September 30th.
That's more generic,
That's the
not
EU.
just
Right,
pertaining
it's
to
not
this.
specific
Oh,
to
okay.
this. Right, yeah,
Yeah.
perfect.
That's kind of funny to get appointed and then get phone calls.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, don't show me.
Maybe,
So
maybe you'll let me.
Don't
break my-
show.
Wow.
Well, it's not exactly.
Maybe you'll let me break my record of 2 minutes from the last meeting.
I know, I heard, I got the email from Megan, just how great of a job, how you guys breezed right through that. So in any case, that's all I had.
Okay.
And thank you all so much. I
right,
really appreciate everyone coming in.
Oh,
Gotta close the meeting.
sure, go ahead.
Never having been part of zoning
They will.
anything before, from tonight, what's the next process steps that we have to go through or that whoever has to go through?
So the next process,
Average time. of
so the next
how long it
process, we
takes.
have another meeting on the 30th that approves which part of this whole.
Well,
This
it's two separate, if I
Yeah.
can jump in. You got two things going separately here. You've got the EU language. But as far as this project goes, this recommendation will then go to the trustees.
Okay.
Trustees will hold a meeting and a hearing on that and vote on whether to approve or disapprove. So that's
Right.
the next step.
Right. The zoning commission presents the board with a recommendation. And then the board of trustees take it from there. I believe it's October 16th is the date of
Sounds correct.
both.
So
The
Joe,
trustee,
once that's
the
done,
trustees
basically
will
what
hear
you're saying is,
both things on
once
one
the
night.
trustees approve it, when do they start putting the shovels in the ground?
That's exactly right.
I know exactly what you're getting at.
I'm not going to get into that kind of detail, but it shouldn't be that long.
But
there.
we do have to put together a development plan for approval.
They've got a lot of work ahead
It'll
of them.
take a little bit. We need complete engineering and some other things, so.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a little bit of time.
Does any of this have to go through the architectural board also? It doesn't, okay. Just wanted to check.
With the green light today, we've already begun engineering, we're gonna charge for the engineering now.
Okay,
Now, the other part about the text that we have in there is that as these drawings come in, anything that we feel that we need professional opinion on or guidance, they pick up the tab to pay for our professionals to review it.
okay,
So
okay.
they really need to get it right the first time.
All righty. And then what's the process? You said the county engineer, is that later in the process? And
Yeah, they'll have to do a subdivision plat, everything else that'll all flow. The county is our engineer.
Yeah,
So they
Yeah, I
act
know,
for
yeah.
us, and so everything will go through their process.
and I know at some point they'll have to do a resolution for the county commissioners to approve whatever.
Probably the subdivision.
The
plat.
subdivision,
Right.
lot, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all righty, move to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Moved by Lucy, second by Jamie. All in favor, say aye. Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you,
Wonderful.
everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.